Welcome back to the Broad Street Sports Podcast featuring Zachary Chaby. And today I will be giving you my Week 1 predictions for the start of the 2024-2025 season. Starting off with tonight's game, the Thursday opener, we have the reigning Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs against the Baltimore Ravens, a rematch of the AFC Championship game last year. The Chiefs trying to go for a three-peat this season. I think it will be a good game tonight. Could be very high scoring, could be right in the middle, could be low scoring. I think the Chiefs will take the win tonight because I think it's going to come down to one turnover, and I see the Chiefs defense forcing a turnover on Lamar that could change the game ultimately. And I think I could see a big game out of a guy like Isaiah Pacheco, and I feel like Mahomes, he's got Rashid Rice, he's got Xavier Worthy, one of those guys will solidify themselves as the number one receiver to start the season right here, right now. And then you got Kelsey, you got the main guys there, and then the defense under Steve Spagnuolo. It's going to be interesting to see how they play with the loss of L'Jarius Sneed, but I think Trent McDuffie is a good CB1 for them, so I have the Chiefs taking this game maybe by the score of 28-24. Moving on to the Friday game in Brazil, we got the Eagles and the Packers. This could be the game of the week right here, in my opinion. I think both teams are very well suited to play against each other. It could go either way. I just think the Eagles will take the win because of the roster they have. I think I would take them over the Packers. And the Packers, they still don't have a solidified number one, in my opinion. They still got very good threats in Christian Watson, Jaden Reed, and Romeo Doubs, and Tavion Wicks. Like, all four of those guys are really good, but the top three I said are very good, and I feel like either one of them could be the wide receiver one for them. But I feel like the Eagles have the more complete roster, and Saquon and his debut with the Eagles can make a huge impact for them tomorrow night. I just think the Eagles will take the dub, let's say 38-31. All right, moving on to the Sunday slate of games. In the first game, we got the Panthers and the Saints. I don't expect this game to be very good, probably a snoozer, probably a low-scoring game, but I just see the Saints winning the game. I feel like Bryce Young in that environment won't be able to be adjusted well to it, might throw a couple interceptions, and that's all it's going to take. The Saints should be able to run the ball very easily. These two teams have good defenses, so I expect it to be low-scoring. I just have the Saints winning, nothing else to it, maybe by the score of 16-14. Moving on to the Vikings and Giants in MetLife. I don't know about this game because the Vikings coming in with Sam Darnold. I feel like guys like Brian Burns, Dexter Lawrence, and Kayvon Thibodeau, all three of them could give him problems, and I feel like the O-line for the Vikings themselves is not that sustained except for Christian Darrisaw. So I feel like that might be the deciding factor there. And if Daniel Jones can at least get a little bit of offense going with Malik Neighbors, guys like Devin Singletary, Wan'Dale Robinson, and Darius Slayton, I think if the Giants can get a little bit of sustained offense going, that's all it's going to take for them. So I have the Giants taking this game in an upset, 14-10. Moving on to the Bengals and Patriots, I think this game will be a blowout. I don't think the Patriots stand a chance against the Bengals. I feel like Jacoby Brissett starting week 1, even if Drake May was starting week 1, this offense is not even set up to even contend against the Bengals. I know Jamar Chase is having contract disputes. I know T. Higgins is there for 1 year and Joe Burrow is coming off an injury. It still doesn't matter. The Bengals will beat the Patriots by the score, I think, of maybe 28-10. I don't think this game is going to be close. The Bengals might keep it close early, but then they'll sustain themselves and be able to take the week 1 win. And then moving on to the Steelers and Falcons. This game is very interesting, in my opinion. Now hearing about the news of how Justin Fields will be the week 1 starter for them because of Russell Wilson getting hurt in practice and won't be able to play week 1. So I definitely think that's interesting to see. So between what the Falcons have to offer with their new quarterback of Kirk Cousins, they have Bijan, Kyle Pitts, Drake London. They got Darnell Mooney. And then the Steelers, they traded Deontay Johnson, which, I mean, I don't know about that move, but it is what it is. And then they got guys like George Pickens and stuff like that. And the defense, you know what you're going to get out of the Steelers defense. It's very good. You got TJ Watt. You got Alex Highsmith. You got the new addition in Patrick Queen. You got Mika Fitzpatrick. You got the second-year man in Joey Porter. But in my opinion, I think the Falcons will take this game because there's too many concerns with the Steelers offense, and I feel like the Falcons defense could force a couple turnovers on Fields, and I could see the Falcons taking this game by the final score of 21-16. Moving on to the Texans and Colts. This game could be very interesting. I think it's going to be interesting to say the least, but in my opinion, I think the way Anthony Richardson plays, he could get himself very injured. I feel like here he could be going for a run and just gets they hit him in the wrong way and he could be injured. I feel like he feels like he's invincible and stuff like that, and that's what got him hurt last year because he would just run and just take the hits every time. Being a quarterback in the league today, taking too many hits could really cost your career, and he has so much potential in him. I just think he doesn't realize how much potential he has in himself. It's because like you could just see it. He doesn't. He thinks he's a body bag. Like he thinks he can just get hit every which way, which I think is going to cost him. And then you saw it a little bit in the preseason. His passing ability still has a lot to be improved upon. And I just think C.J. Stroud is the more complete QB, and the Texans had the better team. And I could see them taking this game. And I have the score probably being about 28-17. All right, moving on to the Bills and Cardinals. I find this game very fascinating. Even though I don't see the Cardinals contending for anything this year, I see them giving the Bills a very good game, especially with all the Bills lost. I don't see the Cardinals winning this game, but I feel like this could be a very close game, and I feel like Kyler Murray will be a great quarterback for them this year. Marvin Harrison could play really well against this weak Bills secondary, and I feel like what it's going to come down to is Josh Allen is the better quarterback. Even though he doesn't have the team he did from last year, he's still going to make the plays possible. James Cook, Dalton Kincaid, could both see them having big games, and I think it's just going to come down to that. And I have the Bills winning this game by the score of 21-17. Moving on to Titans-Bears, the debut of Caleb Williams. It's going to be interesting to say the least. Both these teams have made great moves over the offseason. I just think it's going to be the Bears. It's Caleb Williams' debut. He looks like he's ready to go. I feel like the Titans still have a lot to improve on. I feel like Will Levis could be a good quarterback someday, but just not right now. I feel like the Bears have the better roster, and as long as they're able to force a couple turnovers on them, it's going to be the difference. And I feel like the Bears will win the game. Caleb Williams will show why he was the number one pick. I think it's going to take a while for that. But as long as he can get it to his pass catchers and Keenan Allen, DJ Moore, and Cole Kmet and Rome Odunze, and then get the running game going with DeAndre Swift a little bit, I think the Bears could win this game by the score of 24-13. All right, moving on to Jags-Dolphins. I had the Dolphins winning this game. I think the Jags will play well. I just think the Dolphins at home week one, they always really play really well, really good at home early in the season. And I feel like that's going to be the deciding factor because the Dolphins, you know how they play. Tua likes to play like he's like the MVP the first week of the season, then falls off. So, and I just think Trevor Lawrence going in there week one could throw a couple picks. I still don't have trust in him. Giving him that contract was very unpredictable in my opinion. It was a questionable decision, and I feel like as the season goes on, it's going to prove even more and more why he didn't deserve to get that contract. But I had the Dolphins winning this game maybe by the score of 24-13. All right, moving on to the 4 o'clock slate of games, the Broncos and Seahawks. I mean, the Broncos, they have a whole new regime pretty much. They got Bo Nix. They still have Sean Payton, but they have Bo Nix now, quarterback. They got Cortland Sutton. They traded Jerry Jeudy. Their team is like a whole different. It's a lot different from last year, and I feel like the Seahawks, they have a little bit more experience in them. DK Metcalf, he'll be facing Pat Surtain will be on him all day, which I feel that could be a big game for JSN in Seattle, and I feel like the Seahawks will beat the Broncos because Bo Nix will he's a rookie. He still has to get adjusted. He will be adjusted over the season, but I think the Broncos could upset a lot of teams this year. I just don't think it will be week one, and I have the Seahawks winning this game by the score of 31-14. Moving on to Raiders-Chargers. I have the Chargers winning this game. I'm going to just explain why real quick. I think Harbaugh in his first game, he's ready to go. He seems like he has the regime ready. He knows that he could win this game easily for them. And I think that it's going to come down to how the Raiders sustain offense. And Gardner Minshew, he's going to specifically try to go to Devontae Adams as much as he can. And I feel like the Chargers will finally get adjusted to that. And the Chargers will win this game, I think, by the score of 17-14. Moving on to America's Game of the Week, the debut for Tom Brady in his announcing career. You got the Cowboys and you got the Browns. I could either see this being one of two things, a very high-scoring game or a very low-scoring game because these defenses are both good. The Browns were the number one ranked defense last year. It's just, who knows, number one ranked defenses, they always don't stay at the top every year, so it's going to be interesting to see if they can do that again this year. And for the Cowboys, Dak's in a contract year. CD just got paid, and Micah's still got 1 or 2 years left on his contract, so it's going to be interesting to see what they do with him. So, but in my opinion, I think if Deshaun Watson can at least play a little bit of what he used to play in Houston, that's all it's going to take for this. I could see this being a very high-scoring game, but I think in the end, the Browns will take it because I think they'll be able to force at least one turnover on that Cowboys offense, and I see the score being in this game 34-27 Browns. And the next game, the debut of Jayden Daniels against the Buccaneers. I have the Buccaneers taking this game. The Buccaneers are coming back with the same team last year. Jayden, again, with a rookie quarterback trying to get adjusted. Jayden Daniels, I feel like, could be a good quarterback sometime, but I just don't think in week one he'll be able to get adjusted quickly. It's in a hostile environment in Tampa Bay, and I feel like Tampa will be able to sustain the defense on them. And if Jayden Daniels thinks he can run, I feel like Antoine Winfield could easily go up there, hit him, and then it will have Jayden Daniels not as aggressive running the ball later in the game. So I think the Buccaneers will win the game 23-17. Moving on to Sunday Night Football, Lions and Rams. I got the Lions in this game. I think this could be a repeat of the wild card game last year. The Lions have solidified themselves as one of the best teams in the NFC in their stadium. Now that they're winning, the fans are crazy and the atmosphere is through the roof. I just think the Lions are hungrier than the Rams, and I feel like the Lions have a more complete team than the Rams. The running backs are insane. The wide receivers are good. The tight end's good. Goff can play well when he needs to, and I feel like that's all it's going to take. And Stafford likes to throw picks from time to time, and I feel like one of those is all it's going to take. And I got the Lions winning this game by the score of 27-17. Moving on to Monday Night Football, the return of Aaron Rodgers against Brock Purdy and the 49ers. This game is interesting to me. Ayuk, I don't know if he'll play this game because he's still trying to get in game shape. So it's going to be interesting to see what he does on that part. But honestly, I don't think, even with Aaron Rodgers being back, I still really don't see the Jets winning this game. I like the Niners a whole lot better than them right now. I feel like that Aaron Rodgers could easily lead the Jets to the playoffs. I just think it's going to take a while to do that. And I have the Niners winning this game by the score of 24-13. I just feel like the defense is eventually going to get to Rodgers, and they're not going to be able to put up points. But those are my predictions for the week. Let me know if you disagree, agree in the comments. Other than that, I will talk to you guys. Look out for a reactions to week 1 Sunday night just before Lions-Rams. Other than that, enjoy the rest of your day, guys. Have a good one.